I've got Jim and Jean stories. We always sat together in church, and we always walked to the car with them as we were going home. I want to tell you one little tiny story that I will never forget, that has changed my life. And I want to tell it for the sake of the grandkids. As you know, the grandchildren, you guys, were her greatest delight. And Jean and I talked on the phone a lot. And Jean had a greatest hits when it came to her grandkids. And sometimes it would be, hey, did I tell you about how Anna is playing the violin? And so we'd talk, or she'd go, did I tell you about that grandson who brings all his college friends to church with him every Sunday? Or she'd say, did I tell you about the grandson who has inherited Jim's trumpet and rides his skateboard through the neighborhood playing it? Did I tell you about the granddaughter who's painting? Did I tell you the latest funny thing Isaiah said? This was her delight. She celebrated you guys all the time. Well, that leads me to tell you this story. It was one Sunday, and Wayne and I and Lena too, I'm sure she was there. Erin was off at college, I think, at this point, but we were walking them to the car. And as you know, transitions were difficult. From the chair to the car, from the car to the chair, from the chair to the bed, everywhere. Transitions were the big deal. But there was a cool system for transitioning from the chair to the car that we got to be a part of. Jim would get the chair just right, lock it down. We'd take off what I call the outriggers, those things for her feet. And then we'd have to get the window down and on her side of the car, and then we'd have to get that string that was attached, to the grabber up here, and then we'd have to pull the string, though, through the window. So the handle came down so that when Jean did lift off, the handle was there. So it was a process. But on this particular Sunday, Jim and Jean were telling us, well, first of all, raise your hand if you've ever gotten a handwritten note from Jim Eckert in the mail. Oh, yeah, everybody, okay? Well, Jim and Jean were telling us that Jim not only sends you and me cards, he wrote cards to Jean. And they would be for just little things, like just celebrating, a year ago this day, we, went to Cracker Barrel. Or 10 years ago this day, or I'm just thinking about you. Or I just love you. He would send these to Jean to celebrate whatever they could celebrate. And then, okay, now picture this moment. This is what's burned into my brain. Picture the transition is happening while they're telling us this. And they're talking about what they celebrate all the time through Jim's note writing and their memories. And Jean is standing up, and as she reaches for the grabber in the car, she goes like this: life is a celebration. And it took my breath away. She wasn't thinking anything about it. It was just came out of her. But it was an image moment I'll never forget. There she was, paralyzed on one side, reaching up for the handle and saying, life is a celebration. So, grandkids, remember that. Remember today, we celebrate your grandmom, your granddad, and we'll celebrate forever.